Hello, everybody. Welcome to the weekly webinar. It's very nice to see you. Can you please type in the chat box? How is your summer holiday? How is your summer vacation? Have you already been? Hello, everybody. Sorry, some technical stuff. Can you type in the chat box? Have you been to the sea? Have you been to some country? Have you been to some country? Have you been to the seaside? Okay, yeah, everything's fine. Good. So what are you doing during your summer holidays? What are the further plans for your summer vacation or summer holiday? And today we are going to cover an interesting topic. So today we are going to talk about stress, because it's an integral part of our life, and there is no way we don't have this stress. We will always have it, and it will always be with us for as long as we are here. So let's pencil in our agenda for today. First, we are going to talk a little bit about stress, what you know about stress, what's your general knowledge on stress. After that, we are going to cover stress, its nature and evolution of stress. After that, we are going to look at resistance to stress, how to make stress your friend, and also meditation for stress management as a stress reduction tool. First of all, let's check what you already know about. Just a quick second. What you already know about stress. What is stress for you? Can you please type in the chat box, what is stress for you? What is stress? It's interesting to know. Okay, Masha, hello. Just a little bit. Good. So what's stress for you, and how can you define the feeling in your own words? For example, for me, stress is when I feel stressed out, when I feel under pressure. Usually when I feel really overwhelmed with work, I feel stressed, and I don't have time. For example, I began just scratching my head all the time, and I feel that my mental state, so the time passes, the time flies, but I'm just on my way on completing the task, but I'm far away from completing it. I feel really stressed about that. So this is stress for me. It's like everyday stress for me. I feel stressed when I can't do what I like, and it's a very big stress for me. And I feel really stressed when some people, like people who are close to me, I feel that they feel offended, and they feel bad about my doings. I feel really stressed at that time. Only close people, I can't bear when they feel offended because of me. That's stress for me. Can you please type in the chat box? Okay, somebody writes, Lina, I too. This is when you are very worried. Okay, Masha, right. Stress for everybody is different. Nastya, you too. That's yeah, kind of problem. Do you get stressed easily? I get stressed easily. Sometimes I can even get stressed when I think that I'm calm, I'm not stressed, but my inner feelings, I feel like something is scratching inside. And this is stress. I understand that. Before some exam or something, I feel totally calm outside, but inside I understand that stress is just coming out and coming out, and I feel really stressed. Okay, what circumstances stress you the most? And are you stressed about anything now? What is it? Why does it make you feel stressed? Now, what circumstances stress you the most? And are you stressed now? Can you please? Okay. Nastya, that's fine. For example, what circumstance? I told you that when my close people are, I feel that they are offended and they feel a little bit disappointed or angry with me. This is a very big stress for me, because living, for example, around these people when they are under the weather and they are in a bad mood because of you, it's kind of unbearable for me. I can't stand it. This stresses me the most. Are you stressed about anything now? Actually, not. My stress is like saving money, and usually sometimes I need more than I make. That's the big stress for me, because sometimes there are stuff that I couldn't spend. It's like I couldn't not spend. So I couldn't just avoid spending, but I understand that I need to eat, but no money left. That's the big stress for me. Okay, let's discuss. So let's talk a little bit about what stress is, what it means. Stress is a feeling of strain and pressure. Yeah, stress can be defined as any type of change that causes physical, emotional, or psychological strain. Okay. Stress is your body's response to anything that requires attention or action. Everyone experiences stress to some degree. The way you respond to stress, however, making a big difference to your overall well-being. Be very careful with the stress, because if you always stress, if you feel constantly stressed out, it maybe for some problems with your health can appear, like heart disease or hair loss or weight gain, hormonal stuff. Yes, so it can affect negatively your thyroid system. Sometimes the best way to manage your stress involves changing your situation. At other times, the best strategy involves changing the way you respond to the situation. That's just the general truth. Yeah. So, what are the signs? Can you type in the chat box? What are the signs of stress? What are the signs of stress? Stress can be short-term and long-term. Both can lead to a variety of symptoms, but chronic stress can take serious toll on the body over time and have long-lasting health effects. Some common signs of stress include changes in mood, clammy or sweaty palms, sweaty palms, decreased hormonal abilities, diarrhea, difficulty sleeping, insomnia, digestive problems, dizziness, feeling anxious, frequent sickness, grinding teeth, headaches, low energy level, muscle tension, especially in the neck and shoulders and neck, you like that. Physical aches and pains, racing heartbeat, this high heartbeat, trembling. So, how to identify stress? Stress is not always easy to recognize, but there are some ways to identify some signs that you might be experiencing too much. Too much pressure. Sometimes stress can come from an obvious source, but sometimes even small daily stresses from work, school, family, and friends can take a toll on your mind and body. So some minor minutiae can negatively affect and can contribute to the overall stress condition. If you think stress might be affecting you, there are a few things you can watch for. Psychological signs such as difficulty concentrating, worrying, anxiety, and trouble remembering. So these are the most common psychological signs of stress. The emotional signs, such as being angry, irritated, moody, or frustrated. So these are the your emotional triggers or visible effects of stress. Physical signs such as high blood pressure, changes in weight, frequent colds or infections, and changes in the changes in your libido or periods. So speaking about women, these are the physical signs. So that physical signs, it seems to me, are the most are the severest one, because they affect on your bodily functions, on your functions of the organism that are vital for your daily routine, for your daily living. And behavioral signs such as poor self-care, not having time for the things you enjoy, or relying on drugs and alcohol to cope with your stress. So these were the explicit signs of stress. What are the causes? Can you please type in the chat box? What are the causes of stress in our life? There are many different things in life that can cause stress. Some of the main sources of stress include work, finances, relationships, parenting, and day-to-day inconveniences. So these are the most common these are the most common kind of stuff that helps you to understand what is the main cause of your stress, of the dysfunction of your emotional state. So be careful with this one. If you don't know where this stress comes, so you just can analyze and filtrate these areas of your life, and you will identify it. Stress can trigger the body's response to a perceived threat or danger, known as the fight or flight response. Yeah, threat or danger. If it's danger, just run away. During this reaction, certain hormones like adrenaline and cortisol are released. This speeds the heart rate, slows digestion, shunts blood flow to major muscle groups, and changes various other autonomic nervous functions, giving the body a burst of energy and strength. Originally named for its ability to enable us to physically fight or run away when faced with danger, the fight or flight response is now activated in situations where neither response is appropriate, like in traffic or during a stressful day at work. Yeah. When the perceived threat is gone, systems are designed to return to normal function via relaxation response. But in cases of chronic stress, the relaxation response doesn't occur often enough, and being in a near constant state of fight or flight can cause damage to the body. Stress can also lead to some unhealthy habits that have a negative impact on your health. For example, many people cope with stress by eating too much, or by smoking, by drinking, by binge drinking, or by drug abuse. These unhealthy habits damage the body and create bigger problems in the long term. I wanted to a little bit stop at the point of this cortisol and adrenaline. So as I said before, when you have this fight or flight response or fight or flight situation, you have a very big burst of adrenaline and cortisol mixed together. So as I said before, the blood pumps around your body. It goes to some muscle groups, it goes to your brain, it goes to everywhere. And that's why it's a chemical reaction. Yeah, and you have to understand that these cortisol and adrenaline are chemicals. So if you have too much stress, or your stress is flown into the chronic one, you have constant chemical reaction of adrenaline and chemical mixture of a circuit of cortisol and adrenaline blend in your organism. That's why your body becomes intoxicated. So you have to understand that if you are all the time under chronic stress, in the state of chronic stress, your body is continually being intoxicated. That's why it affects our bodily functions, emotional state, physical abilities, and stuff like that. So what are the main types of stress we have in our... So what are the main types of stress? Could you please type in the chat box on fatigue, illness, loss of person? Yeah, it's called Masha, it's called loss of a person. It's identity loss. It's identity loss. Yes, right, Masha, very good. Cool. So what are the types of stress? Not all types of stress are harmful or even negative. Some of the different types of stress that you might experience include acute stress. Acute stress is a very short-term type of stress that can either be positive or more distressing. This is the type of stress we most often encounter in our daily routine. Acute, a very short one. Chronic. Chronic is stress that seems never ending and inescapable, like the stress of a bad marriage or an extremely taxing job. Chronic stress can also stem from traumatic experiences and childhood trauma. That's chronic stress, yeah? Episodic acute stress. Episodic acute stress is acute stress that seems to run rampant and be a way of life, creating a life of ongoing distress, kind of distressing, yeah? So, for example, you have some kind of trauma, and whenever you face this situation, this stress stimuli, you have this short distress all the time. And eustress is fun and exciting. It's known as a positive type of stress that can keep you energized. It's like euphoria stress, eustress, euphoria. It's associated with surges of adrenaline, such as when you are skiing or racing to meet a deadline. That's it. Kind of this is types of stress. Let's have a look at the history of stress. So Walter Cannon was the first one to use the term stress in his research on the universal fight or flight response. So Walter Cannon was the first person to conduct research on this type of behavior. Hans Selye divided stress into eustress and distress, as I told you. So let's have a look at some quotation of Hans Selye. Stress is the non-specific response of the body to any demand for change. Stress-wise, however, the fact is that it doesn't matter whether the situation is pleasant or unpleasant. It can be good, bad, but it's just the response of your organism, of your body, that something has changed. And your body needs also change. So what counts is the intensity of the demand it places on the individual, on the demand for change. Yeah, it places on the individual to readjust according to the stress. Also, we have the Goldstone's axiom. Adaptation energy can be created, though the income of this energy is slower in old age. It can also be stored as adaptation capital, though the storage capacity has a fixed limit. Adaptation capital is the optimum point of our adaptation, yes, so the highest peak. If an individual spends his or her adaptation energy faster than he created, he will have to draw on his capital reserve. When this is exhausted, he or she dies. That's the axiom. You know, we always have some, you can have alarm stage, emergency response. Yeah, we have this alarm stage. After that, we have defenses maximized. So the resistance stage, the adaptation period, when you use your known storages. After that, you use your reserves. If the reserves is exhausted, sorry, I couldn't live like that. I couldn't live. Now, based on this theory, we have just learned what are the main conclusions. What are the main conclusions can we make about stress? Can you write? What are the main conclusions we can make about stress? Identity, okay, conflict, fatigue. Okay. It seems to me in the comments you have written not the causes, but the results of stress. Causes, it's something like why we have this stress, why we feel anxiety, why we are stressed out. Yeah, maybe some work problems or something. Okay. Let's have a look. So let's stop a little bit at the point of impact of stress. The connection between your mind and body is apparent when you examine the impact stress has on your life. Feeling stressed out over a relationship, money, or your living situation can create physical health issues. The inverse is also true. Health problems, whether you are dealing with high blood pressure or you have diabetes, will also affect your stress level and your mental health. When your brain experiences high degrees of stress, your body reacts accordingly. Serious acute stress, like being involved in a natural disaster or getting into a verbal altercation, can trigger heart attacks, arrhythmias, and even sudden death. However, this happens mostly in individuals who already have heart disease. Stress also takes an emotional toll. While some stress may produce feelings of mild anxiety or frustration, prolonged stress can also lead to burnout, anxiety disorders, and depression. Chronic stress can have a serious impact on your health as well. If you experience chronic stress, your autonomic nervous system will be overactive, which is likely to damage your body. So, what are the stress-influenced conditions? These are diabetes, hair loss, heart disease, heart strokes, hyperthyroidism, obesity, tooth and gum disease, and Oehlers. So what are the stress resistance? So how, there is a question. So we have talked with you about the stress, its causes, its results, what impact has the stress on our body, what are the main options to cope with the stress, what are the main options to cope with our stress and to deal with it. Can you please type in the chat box, what do you do to reduce the stress in your life and how do you relax? How often do you relax? So can you please type in the chat box, what do you do to reduce stress? So I have prepared some steps for you for your personal guide to control the level of stress and the intensity of your response to the stress. At the end, I want you to come up with a guide that will help you to deal with stress to deal with stress really fast and quick. I'm just want to find just a second. Yes, I have found. So I'm going to send you the Google Drive disk or the Google Drive folder for your creative projects and for your response to me. Can you please, after this webinar, till the end of the till the next webinar, you are going to come up with your own guide for stress management and for reducing stress during your daily life. So you can come up with anything. You can record a video with your friends. You can record some stories on Instagram. You can write a post for your social media. You can do just a simple, you can make just a simple presentation in this Google Doc with your own secrets of stress reduction. It can be probably anything, but I welcome creativity, and there will be some kind of praise for students who are active during our webinars. So please welcome. Method of fighting is playing the piano. Wow, Igor, very good. Playing the piano is cool. I spend my time with myself, relax, get distracted by something else, chat with friends. Good. Well done. Okay. Fine. Okay. So the first stuff I wanted to a little bit stop is our lifestyle. First of all, to fight reduction, we need to identify what causes the main stress. Speaking about modern scenario, we can basically classify the lifestyle of people around us. This may not be a strict and well-defined categories, but there may be considerable overlap between many of them, and an individual may identify as belonging to or enjoying the activities associated with more than one group. In addition, many of these categories themselves contain subclasses and subcultures. So as we have different lifestyles, we have different stress. So daily stress and burnout. Some people seem to thrive under pressure. No wonder, yeah, that some people thrive. And I have met a lot of people who say that I'm thriving under pressure. Just the best stuff is done under pressure. Can you type in the chat box? What about you? Do you thrive and flourish under pressure, or do you vice versa feel a little bit not on your plate, not in your water? However, over time, chronic stress with no downtime can overwhelm us all, leading to a decreased zest for life and eventually burnout. Certain lifestyle features can lead to an especially high risk for burnout. Classic high-risk stresses include the following. So sometimes we have too much work with little balance. A life of consistent 80-hour work weeks with no downtime is a classic high-risk scenario for burnout. And schedules approaching that level of fullness can also be very draining. Although we all tend to have especially busy weeks, those who devote all their time to work and work-related activities and put other areas of their lives like relationships, hobbies, and exercises on hold, put themselves at higher risk for burnout. It's not just the fact that work can be draining and stressful, but that the lifestyle is out of balance. So it's always important to maintain this work-life balance. Activities that relieve stress and sustain us mentally, emotionally, and spiritually are reduced or eliminated in favor of more stress-inducing work. Such a schedule is also a burnout risk because as a person living such a busy lifestyle approaches a state of burnout, they're not able to easily get themselves back in balance with these stress relieving activities. Sometimes when you are stuck in the rat race of work, you have too much stress and you get used, you have this adaptation period. And after that, when you have more life balance than work balance, you feel that something is not very good. You are doing something wrong and you have this signal. So it's always very important to listen to your body and to listen to your body responses. No help or supportive resources. That's also too much stress. Taking on huge amounts of responsibilities that can be delegated can also put people at higher levels of stress, increasing burnout risk. Having the feeling that if I take a day off, things will fall apart causes generally elevated sense of stress. We all need support, we all need backup, and others we can offload responsibilities to if need be. We always have to remember that we need a backup person, we need a backup shoulder to delegate something or to just eliminate something. If you skip one day, nothing will fall apart. Of course, something can be put on hold, but it won't fall apart. Be sure. So what we need to do this about stress? Yes, Nastya, yes. You need to prepare your personal guide to control stress or for time management. It can be either video, can be a post on social media. You can take screenshots, you can download everything that you need just on this Google Disk. Just create a folder with your name and surname, and that will be your guide for stress management. Okay, so we need always a backup person. We need a linchpin to offload ourselves of some work. Too little social support can provide additional stress. In addition to needing people who can help us with responsibilities, we need people to help us shoulder the emotional burdens in our lives. To have such kind of emotional harbor for our stress factors, for our stressful thoughts. Having someone to talk to about what stresses us, someone to play with when we have free time, and someone to understand us when times are tough, and someone to supply new ideas when we are stumped, are all important and necessary aspects of social support. Feeling isolated with our stress creates more stress, to be cornered with your stress, and elevates our risk for burnout. Whereas adequate social support can be a buffer against it, can be somehow buffer, a medium between work-life balance, between stress-life balance. So don't be cornered. Have supportive people around and gather only supportive people, the people who you can rely on, the people who can support, can be your emotional harbor in during difficult times. No time for hobbies, no time for your pastimes. Those who work hard often tend to play hard, which helps sustain them. Having an outlet for enjoying life outside of work can help you feel alive and supply you with mental and emotional break from what's stressing you. So it's always better to have some kind of hobby. It doesn't matter which hobby, but you have to have a breather after some stressful period to take your mind off something, to switch yourself off from work, but to a play mode, However, if your whole life consists of responsibility and work and you don't have a creative outlet or regular outlet for good old fun, it's harder to sustain yourself through the stressful times in life. So maybe you have some kind of pastime with your family or any kind of pastime. It's better to switch to this pastime. Too little sleep. People don't always realize that the importance of this one. But if you don't get adequate sleep, you are less able to handle stress, to resist stress. And you're also less productive and suffer other consequences. When you get inadequate sleep or on a regular basis, you put yourself into a state of chronic sleep deprivation and chronic stress, and push yourself at a higher risk for burnout. So having adequate sleep is a key point to sustain your physical health, emotional health, and also stress management technique as a stress management technique. And too little time off. Part of living a balanced lifestyle is having regular times off. Taking a vacation at least once a year can help you get into a different situation and remind yourself why you are outside of your responsible roles, why you are existing here, and the best way to change your scenery, which provides you with the kind of switching mode. Yeah. Vacations help you to get back in touch with yourself and discover new parts of yourself, as well as just sit, relax, and think of nothing. While this can also be accomplished with meditation and other activities, nothing does it quite so easily and enjoyably as a vacation. When you return, you're usually at least somewhat happy to get back to your life. And such times off can be good burnout prevention. If you haven't taken time off in quite a while, you are putting yourself at an increased risk for burnout. That's why it's always recommended to have this time off, to change the scenery. Okay, no comments. Good. Okay. So I wanted to present you some quotes of famous people who were talking and who were dealing with the problem of stress. So, take rest. A field that has rested gives a bountiful crop. Yeah, a field that has rested gives a bountiful crop. Ovid. Yeah. Give your stress wings and let it fly away. Terry Gallimans. The greatest weapon against stress is our ability to choose one thought over another. William James. Stress is the trash of modern life. We all generate it, but if you don't dispose of it properly, it will pile up and overtake your life. So be careful with the stress. speaking about my own view on dealing with stress, I have one interesting secret. I have one interesting and kind of secret for stress management. So, in the modern scenario of life, it's considered to be a relevant phenomena when your ego says to you, there are not enough hours in a day to get through all the tasks I have to do. I faced this reality during my lifetime. And as a modern person, I have sometimes emotional, draining, stressful and fast-paced of lifestyle. I want to do everything at a time, but sometimes I ask myself, how can I possibly balance so many things and maintain healthy and harmonious this harmonious lifestyle with a proper work-life balance? And I have found after a long time of searching, I have found the possible answer to this question. It's an unrealistic goal. I can't achieve it. I can't do everything at a time. But I have found a way out, kind of a way out that's some steps that I usually take to have a breather, to arouse awareness of the importance of harmony in my well-being. So what's harmony? What do you think? What's harmony? Can you type in the chat box, what is harmony? What harmony is for you and means to you? Harmony is not a synonym to balance, I have understood. Harmony means a decent way of coexisting of everything in collaboration with a spirit. If a person does more than he wants, but less than he doesn't want, it will definitely lead to harmony. To achieve this harmony, a person should identify what his life will look like in the future. The latter step requires, first of all, achieving mindfulness of the moment. So for me, mindful practices have become an integral part of my daily routine. Mindfulness is some sort of meditation, but a little bit easier, a little bit understandable why you do it and for what. According to the modern research on mindfulness, it's a non-judgmental and peaceful state of mind when a person is not bothered by issues from past or future. It's living a moment now, seeing a whole landscape of things around you, not fixating on irrelevant and unpleasant minutiae of life, since all of them distract your mind from living a moment. On the one hand, it's generally acknowledged that mindfulness positively affects a mental faculty and is able to change mind patterns. Modern people have a sort of a tunnel vision. We look on the things from only one perspective and consequently end up failing. Mindfulness provides people with focus on the present moment, which enhance our productivity, which lead to success and leads overall to success in the future. Humans' critical thinking is replaced by accepting the world directly. For example, when a person is toying with the idea of doing something or not, he starts ruminating about possible mistakes and accepting some results in the future, which usually makes people puzzled because you don't know where to go. It will create a problem, and it will create a problem kind of, it's difficult. So fine. We won't be, if we ruminate about some stuff, it's like being in the monkey kind of monkey, having this monkey mind when you jump from one tree to another tree and from another tree to another tree. It's decreases your, it makes your productivity to decrease, and surely plans, when you don't achieve, when you don't complete your plans because of that, you have this stress escalation. Moreover, another issue that should be taken into consideration is stress reduction, as we talked before. It's scientifically proved that mindfulness practice is able to reduce everyday stress. Modern pace of life creates regular stress, as we talked. A crucial factor is people's succumbing to the pressure and ending up getting stuck in the spiral of chronic stress. It's very hard to get out of this spiral. So we have to be very careful with that. So what I do to get out of this vicious circle of stress, of constant stress, and to sustain my spiritual and emotional state. 40-minute long mindfulness meditation. You just sit, breathe, have a breathing session, and it probably can enhance your quality of mental processes. While sitting, person is supposed to be away, to be beyond these intrusive and bothering issues, and live finally the moment. Step by step, a human is learning to tame unnecessary broodings and put in order its thoughts. For instance, Buddhist monks were abstracted from the problems and internal external problems, and they were able to put in order their internal chaos. So this is not just meditating, it's just sitting and focusing on the moment. If you can practice this mindfulness practice when you, for example, do something, when you eat something. So when you drink tea, you can fixate first on pouring the tea in the glass. After that, you can not just swallow instantly the tea, but to keep it in the mouth, to think about the taste of the flavor of this tea. After that, when you swallow it, you have to taste what it feels like, kind of to stop the moment and to feel the bright colors of your life. This is mindfulness, to make your mind full. When you have a pain in some limb, or arms, legs, or somewhere, mindfulness can help you not to fixate on it most of the time, but to live a present moment to the full. So in conclusion, it's necessary to claim that enjoying life and living it to the full extent is a human's major goal of lifetime. To fulfill it, people should find balance in this extremely rapid and busy lifestyle. That is why scientists claim that the easiest way to do it is through mindfulness practices. Through regular trainings of your mindfulness, people will be able to control their way of thinking, to enhance problem solving, increase work-life balance, increase efficiency and productivity, and finally, find a desirable harmony. So my conclusion and my advice is to practice these mindfulness practices, not just sitting and meditating, but to feel the flavor of life, to feel this calm. Okay, Masha have written, harmony is when you are calm about everything that surrounds you, your future. Okay, good. That's fine. Exactly. So this is kind of the stuff. What I also wanted to add about stress management. Sometimes we don't have to prevent or avoid stress. Sometimes stress can be um, can be a positive and can have more benefits than drawbacks. Let's have a look at it. Let's have a look at the stress from a little bit different perspective. We will definitely see that stress is a vital part of our life, and it's an integral part of the way to longevity. It makes human beings to be more resistant to various kinds of issues like diseases, to be resistant to some diseases or illnesses, to boost the immune system, to enhance metabolism, to make you stronger, etc. So stress should also take an essential part on our way to longevity, because without it, we will have a monotonous and boring life. We don't follow the rules of the animal kingdom, though have a lot in common. We have this special built-in obsolescence. It means that some of the stuff in our body are already exist, and we can't avoid not doing it. We can't avoid being stressed. So you have to understand it, but you need to learn how to cope with it, not to contaminate and intoxicate your body and bodily processes. Nevertheless, balance should be also taken into account if you want to fulfill a longevity goal. So if you want to live longer, if you want to reach 100 years, that's always a good idea to think about your stress, and especially about chronic stress. So let's sum up a little bit. Stress is inevitable in our life, but we need to learn how to live with the stress, how to cope with bad stress. And there are also some good stress that helps our body become stronger, become more resistant. So we need to welcome it, some good stress. We also need to remember about the secrets and the stuff that helps us to cope with the stress and to cope with the negative effects that stress can cause. So always be aware of the negative results and the negative effects that cause our body to stress, and eliminate. Don't think that everything will fall apart if you put on hold your responsibilities and Just have a breather, have some time off work, take your mind off work, and your life will be much better, because there will be less stress during your daily routine. Be happy. Yeah, practice mindfulness. It also helps to cope with stress. And it's not stress that kills us, it's our reaction to the stress. Yeah, so cope with your reaction. Yeah, react positively, make stress your friend, and see you soon. Please download your guides to the Google Disk, and I will enjoy reading your guides. Maybe I will take something useful from your guides. You can also put some information from today's webinar to your guide for stress. I will also duplicate the link for the Google Disk on your platform. See you soon. Bye bye. Thanks a lot.